Yes, people, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. But more importantly, welcome to the show. Welcome to another pregame show on Chelsea Perspective. I hope you're all doing well. I sincerely do mean that. Again, let me know whether you're looking forward to the game. I think the lineup should be out by now, but usually it takes them a bit more time again to show it, but that's not a problem. We can still go on while we wait for it. I know some of you have it. Again, if you can show it, that's fine. Then start using um, the one on the screen soon. Sorry how my voice sound. I have again a bit of a cold here. Let's see what we have. Blue afternoon, evening, Coachella panel and chat. Blue afternoon to you too, Liam Lane. Yes, people, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. As you're coming in, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, as it helps the channel reach a wider audience. And I'm very grateful for the growth we're seeing. We've grown beyond a channel to indeed a community. And again, I'm enjoying it, and I hope you're enjoying it too. Please don't start all by telling. I wish it was all were up to me. It was up to me. Let's see what happens. Big up Kachila, Liam Lane again in the comment. Big up to you too, DJ Sab. I hope you're doing well. Any other comments here? Let's see. That's worth reading. I am agreeing with you. Okay. Let's see again at Chelsea. Again, a go win. That's in Pidgin English. Okay, I believe you if you think so. Let's see what we have again. Okay, thank you. Honestly, Chelsea win. Yep, I hope so. Big up everyone again. Smash the like button, people, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We have just 7 likes, and I think we should be doing better than that. But please take a second and drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Porter should start Zakaria, Havertz, Ziyech, Lewis Hall. Again, those are your choices. Let's see what the man does. Only Lewis Hall, I'm afraid. Again, let's see why. Leon, let's see. Don't know. He just picks a different team every game. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if that you guys are sounding like you've seen the 11 and it's nearly entirely a different 11. So I'm not going to be surprised here. Let's see again. Liam Lane just saying hello to Liam again. How the hell is our team ever going to get settled when it's a different team every game? I don't know. Again, it's send a 5-team to you, Kachila. Okay, send the team to you. Let me see. And probably by now, these guys should have it. I'd be surprised if they don't. They have it. But again, I like the graphics for the other one, so I'd use it too. For the Chelsea lineup, we have Mendy, Ingon, Chalobah centrally. Wow, okay, that's surprising. I'd rather Aspilicueta go to the left. Again, Koulibaly essentially and Chalobah to the right. But we'll see when the game starts. We get to understand what's going on really. Jorginho, we knew he was going to start as long as he again, if he's fit, he starts. Kovacic, we knew he was going to start. Loftus-Cheek, I suspected was going to start in that position. Here, Lewis Hall again. We were going to start a riot if he doesn't start. The 2-8 again. As we're saying, I'm not sure if this. Tell me the formation you're seeing in the club's in the app in the Chelsea app. I didn't expect Gallagher to start. I expect a pairing either 2-8. I expected a pairing of was it again Mount and who was it again, either Starling or Pulisic. But again, this is not a bad combo here. But yeah, I'm not going to say what I have in mind. Broya, I'm related that he's starting. I didn't expect him as Graham Potter to start Broya over what's his name over Aubameyang, but he's starting. So I want to say welcome into the panelists. We have Roger in the house, and my brother, you can say my cousin if you prefer, Ty Tugs is also in the house. Roger, your thoughts on the lineup? And sorry the way I sound. I have I'm dealing with cold here. Sorry.
Oh, I hope you feel better. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Or good morning for you.
Yes, and to you. I hope you're well.
Sound like I'm doing better than you, Coach.
Yeah, go ahead, Roger. Give me your thoughts on the lineup, and please, people, as you arrive, and be sure to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much. And Liam Lane is telling me that it's a 3-4-2-1. Yeah, it looks like it, so it's correct there. So again, but go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, so everyone's saying it's a 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1, however you want to interpret that.
If the front three can always be anything, it's fluid. That's the most important point there.
But I can see it also being a back four. I can see it, let's have a look here. Let me bring mine. Because you can put Aspie and Hall as the fullbacks. Do you
Yeah, then
understand?
the other two remain where they are. So it can be
Yes.
it can be a hybrid approach, really.
Yeah. So we'll only really tell once the kickoff is, but it's easily interpreted either way as a 4-3-3 or even a 4-2-3-1. No, not really. I mean, you could have Loftus-Cheek up front more
Mhm.
on the number 8 or a 4-3-3. They're very interchangeable. They're very fluid in that
Yeah,
regard.
it's fluid. In the front three, again, usually when I try to predict the structure, I'm usually not really concerned about the front three here because it can be anything.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's a fluid approach. But go ahead.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I actually thought the actual formation would be a back three for today, but I
Mm.
wouldn't be surprised if it's a back four. It could easily be that. We'll soon find out upon kickoff. You only the coach knows and the players, obviously.
Yeah, only him knows, and we usually find out what it really what it really is once the game starts. But at this point, we can't say anything. Again, thank you so much, Len. I've seen it myself. Again, Wagwan, Coach Wagwan, to you too, brother. I hope you're well. Heights and respect from me. Broya, let me see. Yep, he starts. That's a good one for me. Yes, Coach. Are we happy with Broya and Hall? I'm happy with those two, really. No, and I don't look. I don't mind the outcome. Just give them chance. They only get better. Again, they only become well integrated into the team if you give them chance. If they're only getting 15 or 10 minutes every now and then, it won't help them. The integration, it won't really work even for 2 years with those 5 minutes, 3 minutes. You have to start them in certain games. And you can say Amanda Broya, it's really going well for him right now. Although I really did expect him to start against Zagreb. But what happened has happened. He's on the pitch now. I hope he takes the opportunity. That's the most important thing of everything we like. We can talk about him starting or not starting. If he starts, he has to take the opportunity. And Lewis Hall, again, this is how it's done. That was one of the reasons why I wasn't happy with Thomas Tuchel as much as I loved him when he was still at Chelsea. Is again after that performance in the league game, he should have followed it up with subsequent game time for Lewis Hall. Believe me, his development would have been beyond where it is right now, but it's still not bad. He's still a good player. The talent is there. You can say the intelligence as a player is still there. So you follow that performance against Man City up with another game like this. Again, believe me, I don't think he'd be going back to the youth team. He remains with the first team here. So thank you very much again. Let's see what we have here. That's what the Chelsea app says. Probably looks correct. Maybe a hybrid approach. Even that, again, you can say it's correct. The 3 holes says up the Chelsea. I get again. How are you doing, man? Thank you, and I think this is your first time here. Welcome to the Chelsea Perspective community. If you haven't, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, where is Sterling? Where he should be, if you ask me. If it's up to me, is he not on the bench? I'm not seeing the whole lineup is again. It's not showing that. You can see it's cut off. If you can see it fully, let me know who's below Omari Hutchinson. We have Christian Pulisic, Kai Havertz, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Dennis Zakaria, Hakim Ziyech, Omari Hutchinson. I'm not seeing the next guy there. So if you can see, please do let us know. Sorry, here we have Lewis Hall. Yep, he's starting already. What the hell is going on again with our coaches? What kind of lineup is this? As you can see, again, to me, I'm happy with this, really. The only fear I have, again, is you can say Zakaria not starting so we can have proper protection for the defensive line. But still, since I think we're good, since it is Gumia as alone centrally here, I think we can. You can say if we coordinate well, we can actually overload the midfield and do better than them. But let's see what happens. Again, I need to see Hutchinson. We need to see him too. You can't stop him from traveling to represent his fatherland and then just keep dropping him on the bench. It just doesn't make any sort of sense. Honestly, think we are winning today. Again, I hope so. But on paper, statistics, and given recent form, it doesn't look like a game we'll get the win from. The most, again, according to on paper, it will be again a draw. I hope we win. If we win, I'll take it. Lewis Hall and Broya, I swear, Porter watches again at this channel. And Graham, if you're in the comments, again, I still prefer Tuchel, but we move on. Again, yeah, we move on. I like the final part of your sentence. You bought Alba for no reason. Don't understand why he's not playing. If you can tell me, CFC, Nathan, how well has he done in the recent games he has played? Yes, you can bring in the argument again that he was starved of services. So again, not blaming him for not scoring goals and all that. But let's see what happens. Remember to drink your again anti-hypertension medicine before the game. Your health is important. Yeah, I agree with you. Again, and that's coming from a doctor, really. So yeah, let's take it seriously, really. Again, Sterling must be injured. Is he not on the bench? Because
Nope.
I can't see the bench yet.
No,
Okay, again, we need someone. King A, big up to everyone. Again, King A says we need someone who can track down Joe Linton the all games because that guy never stops running, and they need to be physical in midfield. In terms of pace, you could say I'm really not concerned about the pace. What I'm concerned is the trickery of Almiron. Believe me, even if you're like Yokozuna or the tallest person in the whole world, he's a trick. Again, his quick feet does the magic for him. He doesn't really need to combat with you again for physicality. No, is this again his ability to weave through defensive lines and create a chance for himself. That's what scares the heck out of me. Havertz not starting means Potter finally understood. Again, I wouldn't call him fraud. Again, not being a professional footballer. I want to get Shama. Let me get your thoughts on again. If I want to know what you think about. Let me just put it this way to be safe, so it doesn't look like I'm finger pointing. What you think about Gallagher and Mount starting? Shama, I really want to know from you. We're playing a youngster instead of an experienced striker. No nonsense again in a big game. If that's how you see it, that's your opinion. For me, I think they deserve a chance. If really we're taking risks, if really again the process is going to be painful because it's a building process, and if it's really a building process, then we need to accommodate them. Ty, big up and welcome to the panel. Your thoughts on the lineup? Would you have done anything differently?
Okay.
Hello, Ty.
Some people here already know that this game is very weird for me.
Mm.
But
oh, I get
yeah,
it. Go ahead.
yeah. But I'm gonna focus on the Chelsea part mostly because this is Chelsea's perspective. So I'm gonna focus on the perspective of Chelsea. Honestly, I'm not surprised Hall is playing, or rather
I am.
starting, because he deserves it. He was unlucky enough to score.
If he didn't play, I would riot. But go ahead, Ty. Did we lose you, Ty? Are you still there? Roger, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm just joking.
Okay, which means we've lost Ty. So Roger,
yeah.
again, have you spoken about the lineup overall?
Not really, no.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm actually shocked that Hall is playing. And
you serious or are you kidding? Really?
No. I want them to play. Do you remember our conversation yesterday? I just didn't think Potter would choose him.
Yeah. You
shocked
thought he was going to go for the more experienced players.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't think that Potter would choose Hall and Potter would choose Broja today. I'm very shocked. I'm very pleased. Don't get me wrong. I just didn't foresee that. I'm not a gambling person, a betting person, but if I was to bet, let's say hypothetically $10, if you said, Rog, put $10 that Hall and Broja is playing.
Yeah, you just came back. So let Roger drop, man. Then you can come back in. We stopped hearing what you were saying for like 10 years.
I think I had accidentally hit the mute button. I didn't notice.
I've done that before.
It happens. Go ahead, Roger. Once you're done, I can come back in since you haven't spoken.
I would have actually bet money that he wouldn't have played those two. So that's how I'm shocked. I'm pleasantly surprised, though. I think it's going to be an interesting game. I think he's chosen to play Connor and Mason together and with Broja. I think for industry, I think he realizes that we're going to have to press and we're going to have to run our tushes off. I think that seems quite apparent that he's gone for youth because of their legs also. I think that's part of the equation, at least. I'm pleased. I'm dying to know what formation. Would it be a back four or a back three? And I think he's chosen a lot of these players in the knowing that, you know what, during the game, without making the substitute, we can actually change. We have the ability to change formations based on the personnel also. They're very interchangeable. So I like that approach.
Yeah, I like it, and we'll get to talking about the back line, whether this will really be the placement of the personnel. I really don't think so. It doesn't make any sort of sense, but uh, I will come back to it in a bit. Let's see again. I think we are aiming to play on the counter, not Graham Potter really. As much as I don't see that happening. Potter again. As much as I think he's made a few mistakes since he took over the Chelsea job. I would say one thing he does, he looks to exploit the spaces if he has one against the opponent. He doesn't look to drop deep and counter. But if we're under pressure, the transition is usually like this.
Mm-hmm. He's more direct.
Yeah, very direct. So that doesn't mean he's looking to hit them on a counter. I don't think so, but we'll see what happens. They will leave space at the back, which explains some of the selections. You could argue that which again, I think in that aspect was all saying the same thing. What did Jamaica do to Potter? No Hutchinson and Starling. Not really Starling, but I get your I get your point. Big up Mike Jammers. He said, let's see what we're having. No Thiago Silva. Probably being cautious with him right now. This is the last game. Excuse me. Sorry, guys.
Bless you, coach. Bless you.
Thank you. This is the last game before the World Cup. He says, again, we're definitely going to need to run in this game. You could argue that's the reason why we're seeing Mason Mount and Gallagher starting in the same game, because they are like for like in terms of the industry we see from them whenever they're on the pitch. But let's see what happens there. Let's see again. Coach Starling is ill. Oh, thank you, Nehemiah Forward. Thank you for that update there. So, Ty, coming to your thoughts on the lineup, and the question is, would you have done anything differently? For me, I like the fact that Broya is starting. I like the fact that Hall is starting. Where I have question is Gallagher and Mount starting together, and it's this structure. I've seen them play together, but in that structure in particular, it was a 4-2-3-1, where Mount is centrally as a 10, and Gallagher started as a winger on the right-hand side. And it did work, but as 2-8, let's see how that works. I'm not going to kill against that, but Ty, your thoughts?
Yeah, I was saying that.
Hey, Ty.
Host, yeah, big up to you, Roger. In terms of no, I was saying about Hall, and I'm not surprised he's starting. I mean, he impressed me against Man City. I mean, there was not much impressive players against Man City, and we lost.
What? Yep.
There was lots of I saw that you did a show on him as well, or probably he was the center of the show, because I thought you have the thumbnail of him 3 times, but it gets faded slowly. But he was probably one of the only positives from that game, and I think he deserves more minutes. I was expecting.
So sorry if you don't mind. You could say he made the loss look like a win.
Yeah, and he could have scored a hat trick, because he should have at least scored one of the 4 chances that he had. But him starting, I'm happy for him. He deserves a start, and I keep saying that, it's better you play young, hungry players than playing players that you think are experienced and they're not doing anything, because they don't have a point to prove necessarily in terms of the highest level in terms of playing for their countries, because that's not at the front of their mind to do immediately, or no. They may think about it in the near future, but not no. And Lewis Hall is not a person that is looking to go to the World Cup this when the World Cup starts soon. So I think in that sense it makes sense to play him. Your point about Mo and Gallagher playing, I find that very weird. I don't think it really makes much sense on paper, because if you look at both of their profiles, yes, they're different and unique, but in terms of
industry.
Yeah, they offer literally the same thing, but one is slightly better than the other in terms of fulfilling what that role is, no matter how minimal I think it is. They do fulfill that role, and on their best day, they can be a good player at doing what they're supposed to do or what they're told to do. Gallagher, for me at least, is better at crossing the ball. He's better at creating, but Mason Mount has more energy. He's more energetic, and he's able to pounce on mistakes. But I don't think that both starting was ideal, but I am hoping it works out. And Broha starting, I am happy for him, because I think he deserves a start.
Yeah, whoever that's helping us with the music, can that person just hold on a bit? We'll need it when the game starts.
Apologies, man. Apologies. My sister.
No,
My sister is
I
banging
know.
on that
That's
door.
why. That was why I had to put it mildly. I knew it was coming from a kid or somebody that doesn't know. Go ahead, Ty. Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So regarding that, I mean, Broha starting. I'm fine with that. He deserves it. Aubameyang has really not been in form, so I think give Broha a run of games. He started the last game. Let him play again. He was slightly good, but I mean, not many players were good against Man City, so he wasn't standing out in necessarily being a poor
Yeah.
player. But I think Luis Hall will start will score like Fede is saying. I think this is the game he may start he may get at the back of the goal scoring side. I think in terms of the midfield, I do think that it's good enough. I would have liked to have seen Zakari play again, but I'm
Yeah.
okay with Kovacic and Jorginho playing.
Yeah,
I'm
since they
sorry.
play, you can say they play one man centrally, Gumieres. I think both can deal with him, really. He's not the most physical, but these guys do. Whitlock and Longstaff, they do. And even so, sometimes you can see Amiron in the midfield. They try to overload it sometimes too.
Yeah,
They're
it's
well drilled.
sometimes
They don't play much differently than how Sari plays. And
yeah,
I know it's Ty. I know you know why. Again, Eddie Howe, that's his name, right? I
yeah,
think he's learned quite a lot from Sari himself. But go ahead.
yeah. But in terms of that as well, that's the
Don't worry, Ty. Take your time. Go take care of it. Let me catch up with the chat. I will come back to Bobby again. Family first, brother. I know. Again, take care of your little sister. I know probably it's your little sister, like you've told me before. Coach Salin is ill. Okay, thank you for updating us on that one. Let's see what we have here. Mount cannot be worse today than how he's played as a number 8. Yeah, as a number eight, you get industry. He can score again. He does create chances too as a number 8. So I get your argument, but I wouldn't go to the extent of calling Kai a fraud. But let's not get into that. But thank you so much for that comment there. I appreciate that. For him, Raheem Sterling is on the reserve team. I'm not sure what that means really. Not feeling this one. I'd be surprised if you feel it. As long as Christian Pulisic isn't starting, you don't feel it. I know who you are. You are his lawyer. So that's not surprising to me. My brother, again, Mikhail says, again, big up, coach and Blues. We need a winner today. Interesting lineup. Again, come on, you Blues, he says. Let's go get the 3 points. Yes, on paper, it's not easy given recent form, given, again, how the number of goals they've scored and given the number of goals we've scored. But we're not going to get into that anyway. Lewis Hall must score. I hope he does. More importantly, giving your comment again, saying, yes, we can win this because you cannot script football. That's just it's a simple start. We will press again at them from the front. That's why you have these two guys there, the energy and their ability to run 120 minutes and still be running like they haven't done anything. Probably the reason why the two of them are starting. As long as Ruben Loftus-Cheek is in, the loss might be inevitable. After all, says David Osuku. If that's how you feel, that is you. Again, you have every right to express yourself. Again, if you're watching, if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, we have just 14 likes. We should be doing better than that, people. Come on, the more you like the video, the more the algorithm will be triggered and the more people will have in the show and the more fun it will be. Limitless says, again, Chelsea fans never satisfied. Let's see how this works. Whoever, again, he plays, he does not have the players to balance the team. I haven't said that. I think in terms of, I think you could say we have balance. Do I think we should have started Zakaria? Maybe, but not really in this game. Since they're playing, you could say technically they're playing with what you could call a register, but not really a register, more aggressive than you registers are really. I think we should be able to deal with the midfield. That's usually where the issue starts. But do I think protection is important for a back three? I think it is. The question I want to ask next, once Bobby speaks, is again the placement of the back three. It doesn't make sense that Koulibaly isn't starting centrally. He's the most experienced. You could say he's the most cool-headed, if there's anything like such as most cool-headed. I think he's the one that can more comfortably lead the back line than Chalobah. But Chalobah is capable of doing that. But I think Koulibaly will most likely do that better than him. Subscribe to Talks channel again. 3 subscribers away to reach 600. Please, 3 people, do me a good favor. Head on to the Talks YouTube channel. You have the link there. subscribe. Let's get him to 600. Let's get him to more than that. Again, Neil, he should have at least 1,000 subscribers. That's again how much good job he's doing. But school is important too, so that he isn't creating content constantly. But each time he releases one, it is quality. So please go check out his channel and be sure to subscribe. Coach, again, the boss leaves St. James's Park at 7:30 p.m. GMT. You've been promoted to the front of the bus for your refusals to trust the prices. I haven't said I don't trust the prices. I said I'm on the fence. So you're really forcing me onto your boss, and you could say that's kidnapping. Really, he has to try different things to get it right. You could argue that, and again, I don't think he's changed too much now. I think Thiago Silva probably, out of the fact that the World Cup is close and his age, and maybe he didn't want to risk it, really. I meant Sterling is not on the substitution bench. Okay, if you think this lineup is going to get 3 points, I hope you're right, but we will see. Coach, I know how much you love Christian Pulisic. I know you're his lawyers. I'm not surprised. Going to have some good running performance again because we aren't going to get many shots on target. That sounds, again, let's see what happens there. Porter better make us subs quicker than he did at the Arsenal game if things go south. It's as simple as that. If it's not working, change it as soon as possible. React. Again, don't take too much time to react so that it's not too late. These guys are very important. They're very important in front of goal. And again, Almiron especially, again, he's been, his form of late, you could say, prime Messi, really. The way he scores, the way he creates chances himself, by himself, it's something, again, delicious to watch. I hope, again, if it's not working, let him take action quickly. All Bas punishment for not impressing Porter versus Arsenal is not playing for a while. I don't think that's the case. Again, I am beginning to believe Porter has lost faith in Havertz and the other senior lads, and that's a good thing. If that's how you see it, if it makes you happy, enjoy it, really. I have to be honest with you. Let's see what else we have here. Anything else? Again, this team literally beats AC Milan 2 games in a row. The team is good enough. His lineup and tactics have been horrible misses. Again, if that's how you say it, you're entitled to your opinion. Let me go back to the panel. Resend the link to... Who's this? Have I sent you the link before? Sorry, again, coming back to the panel. I'm going to go to Bobby immediately. Bobby, your thoughts on the lineup? Would you have done... Bobby's on the panel, yeah. Would you have done anything differently, or you okay with this selection?
I don't think he can do anything differently. I'm happy he's starting Broja, and I'm happy he's starting Lewis Hall. I think both of them deserve the start. The playing of Gallagher and Mount together is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have the technical ability to know how to play together? One go forward, one stay back, and bring in their hustling game? Well, we'll see. They should be tactical enough to do that. After all, they're both going to a World Cup, and if they're not tactical there, they're going to end up getting stuffed. So, they've got to start to show us what they can do intelligently. So that's going to be interesting. I don't think he could do much more. I hear you talking about playing Koulibaly in the center of the back three. I don't think he can, because of the 3 center backs, he's the better one to play as the left center back, because some bright spark foolishly sent away Levi Colwill.
Yeah.
Levi Colwill, So that's what we have to do. Midfield, yet again, is the issue for me, because clearly Rubin is going to be forced to play right wing back with Hall on the left. So we're playing a 2-man midfield again. That's
Possibly.
my concern. Is Kovacic and Jorginho enough to withstand the strength of the Newcastle midfield? Or I know Hall tends to come in and help, but will Rubin have the legs to come in and help the midfield as well? Well, time will tell. If they do, then we could win today. If they don't, then it's going to be very much the same.
Excellent.
Yeah. Again, in terms of Ruben Loftus-Cheek playing in the right wing back position, I know you understand that already. That is, again, you could say that's one of the you could say fundamentals that define a Porter's approach in terms of playing. You can say wingers or eights or players, midfielder, traditional midfielders in the wing back role. It's more like overloading the midfield. So this is more like us playing with a 4 midfield, not just a 2-man midfield. Yes, 2 of them are central. The 2 of these midfielders are central. But Lewis Hall, if you know him quite well, is a midfielder traditionally. He's just able to play from the flanks and able to execute the role. And that was one of the things we talked about. He may well be, again, the guy that Potter is missing. The guy who's a traditional midfielder, just like Trossard, the traditional and forward, but able to play deep from the wing back area. So to me, that's not an issue, really. That's not as long as we're able to control the game. Again, no matter how quickly these guys play, we're still able to slow things down whenever we want and then pace it up whenever we want. I think this is not an issue. Actually, it has worked for him. It worked against Manchester City, really. It wasn't the worst. Again, we didn't take our chances. Had we taken our chances, we would have won. We even had a better XG. So where you could say he's finding the balance. He's trying nearly the same thing he did against Salzburg away, but this time he has 2 powerhouses in terms of pressing and running and not get tired and run throughout the game in Gallagher and Mount. So that, again, the Newcastle defense, they have a lot of work to do. So, and again, centrally, we have these 2 guys, again, who you can say both of them can control the game. And Hall has showed, even though he's starting here, he helps overload the midfield and he has a vision to pick up passes from that deep. So before we go into talking about the back 3, Roger, let me get your thought on what Bobby just talked about Ruben playing in the right wing position, and let's say Hall again. He's shown that he's capable of playing there. Is this something of a concern to you? To me, I'd rather Ruben play there on the flanks than playing centrally.
Sure, no, I get it. I'm skeptical whether this is a back 3, as I said before. It probably is, and I would have preferred a back 3.
Or maybe a hybrid. It's acceptable, like you've reconstructed it, showing how Chalobah and Koulibaly can stay centrally, and then fullback will be Aspie and Hall. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, because it could be a 4-3-3, with Hall and Aspie as fullbacks. Technically, then you have 3 in the midfield with Loftus-Cheek, Kovacic, Jorginho, or it's a hybrid in possession, without possession. It all depends. I want to ask one thing, gentlemen. It's, if you don't mind, what do you think about Pulisic not starting? Because he does bring industry for the most part. On Dan's show last night, I went through each game we played, 20 so far this year. He's only started 3 Premier League games. I was hoping he would start today.
Now, coming to that, really, here's what I'm going to say. If we all agree that these 2 starting is because of their industry.
Well, that's the only reason.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
Play Pulisic with one of them.
Yeah, mixing it up is fine.
They have something to prove that they can actually make that effective. If not, we've wasted Pulisic from starting. I know he'll probably come on at some point, as with several of the people on the bench with the 5 subs we've got. But I thought this was one that he could have started for sure. But
that was my take.
So here's what I was going to say. I get your concern. The mix is important. If we're really going to be fluid, do I think this will be a fluid front 3? I doubt that. This is more like put the ball in the box, expecting Broya to get at the end of it. That's what I think we're going to be seeing mainly. These 2, it's just because of their presence. So he feels like having, again, you can say, with only 3 recognized defenders, really. I know Lewis Hall can defend. Traditionally, he helps. He can read the game quite well. But this is no different from playing a 3 defenders. So he needs to apply balance by playing, again, by pressing from the front. But we miss fluidity, really. But I get your point. Go ahead. I don't know, again, if that answers your question. Do I think Christian Pulisic should have started? Yeah, like Bobby said, it should have been Christian Pulisic's pairing with one of these 2 guys.
Yeah.
Because, again, you can say these 2, they don't have, you can say they don't really have complementary skills. which again, to me, I don't like. Go ahead with what you were saying, Roger.
No, I think that's valid points, gentlemen. I was just hoping that if Sterling wasn't to start, that Pulisic would be given a start, because I think he needs to be given the opportunity. He's the type of player, when healthy, that needs X amount of consecutive starts and valuable minutes. I think, and I'm just surprised he's not starting yet again.
And the truth remains, if we're being factual here, again, this is not me being biased by any means necessarily. As much as I understand, as much as I understand how why Graham Potter is starting Mason Mount and Gallagher. Christian Pulisic, one thing you get from him whenever he's on the pitch, he will always arrive in the box. True. He will always get at the end of the crosses, whatever you put in the box. And again, he could say he has that attribute of a poacher. It doesn't. In most cases, it doesn't have to be pretty. And in those cases where it doesn't have to be pretty, he puts them away. I know he's missed quite a few of late, but he deserves to start. Again, be the parent between these two. But the manager, he has a tactics. I hope he works, really. Again, Ty, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, and you mentioned that about, he has been missing a lot of chances of late. But this is the situation that sets him different from the rest. There's barely anybody that you can say they're in that position. It's always they're just about there. They nearly got to the ball. But Pulisic gets to the ball, but the only thing he doesn't do is finish. That is literally, it's like I'm defining a player that we had a couple of seasons ago where he would get in the right positions, but he would not be able to finish. We continuously have this issue in the attack. But I think Pulisic brings not only getting into the final third or getting into the opponent's box, but he also gives you, there's a lot of unpredictability with him playing because he can drift wide and he can drift central, and then that can be confusing to defenders. So I mean, he has bits and pieces that says that, you know what, these players are not working, or let's give him a chance. And I don't know, it's weird, but I'm happy he's not playing as much games because he's fitter now. He hasn't gotten injured severely since last season.
And you can say people don't give him much credit given, again, his ability to drive with the ball. Do I think he hits the deck easily? I think he does in most cases. And
he's easily muscled off the ball.
Yeah, but that's one thing you don't change in a player. There are players who are like that. There are players who's capable of, the whole thing comes. Let's say, for instance, as much as this is funny, for instance, Eden Hazard doesn't hit the deck so easily. Why? Even when it's running, even if you give him slightest of touches, doesn't bring him down because he has that balance that his butt gives him. Really,
low center of gravity, coach.
Low gravity too, plus the balance that his butt gives him. Yeah, again, but here's the thing: the truth remains. I get your point, but I think we're not going to get. I don't think we'll get fluidity from the front three. We get more of get it, put it in the box for Broya to attack. But we'll see what happens. We have three good runners up front. If the midfielder could, again, link up well, we definitely win at this one. I hope we can win it. On paper, it doesn't look like we can. Coach, you can, again, sit next to Nightbot. It's doing a madness in the stream. That's because I just turned it on. So probably saying hi to quite a lot of people that he hasn't said hi to. Again, if you're watching, if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream. We shouldn't have just 17 likes. We should be doing better than that. This is, again, less than an hour show. So please take a second, drop a like. And don't forget, we have, again, the Watch Along show, and you need to experience it to see how good it is. The analysis, everything on point. This isn't about Pulisic. Again, I've been a Chelsea fan. I know. Again, even calling you Pulisic's lawyer is just a joke. But you could say, even whether you know it or not, Coach Chris, being honest, you're probably subconsciously being biased. If I'm being honest here, and we're all entitled to. It's a natural thing when you talk about humans. Again, just a pretty ridiculous. The politics surrounding this team and who plays again is insane. Again, I'm not gonna. You and I again. Maybe we'll have that discussion of what you said about Tuchel and how you think Potter will be a better manager. And now, again, your complaint is started by Potter playing Pulisic in the wing-back position. But I get your point, really. Let's see what else we have here. Chelsea must win. Yeah, it sounds easy. I hope we do that. And Again, the Bluetooth game, you're asking for somebody to be made a mod. Let me know, do you know the person well? Because I've taken that risk before and I'm regretting it really. Faded, again, don't use all caps over 2 emojis, and Nightbot will, again, it will time you out. Yeah, it's not a human being. You give someone 3 weeks in between starts and surprised by not being a sharp. It's a joke. Yeah, that's a solid argument. Again, you need to start consistent games to gain that sharpness, match fitness, or match sharpness,
Especially
so
in
to
that
speak.
position.
Especially in that position. So yeah, I agree with you on that one. It's a joke, and again, he is literally the only player that looked capable of scoring. Okay, we're not going to get into that one really. Tobago, again, the Chelsea fans are never happy with the lineup. I said excuses again. I said it's excuses after excuses. Here's the thing: there will never be a time you'll start an 11, even if you have the Drobas, Michael Ballack, Michael Essien. Somebody will still look at the bench and say, I think it would have been better for player A to start over player B. It's as simple as that. So I've gotten used to it. I understand that's going to happen. So I'm not going to get into that. Let's see what we have. Nightbot is a computer, that's why. Let's see. Anything else? The Bluetooth again, if you've seen my comment, let me know. If you know him, I can make him that. Again, we have some OGs here actually who haven't become mods. Tytox is 2 away from 600. We can do it for him, people. Just 2 more people. Again, please, let's get him to 600 likes. Again, Newcastle and even starting St. Maxim, they think we're a pack of bombs. I don't think that's the case. Probably there's something, maybe his manager starting the personnel. He feels like we'll do better against us. I think you can see, again, I hope this game don't become one of those games where too much tactics and it becomes boring. It becomes so much feistiness. You will be seeing so much feistiness that it's not going to be enjoyable. Glenn have been here again for a while, but can only just type up the chest. That's huge, really. Up the chest is something big.
Coach, as long as we win, who cares? Let it
okay, all right, bro. Again, Pulisic literally. So go ahead, Bobby. You were saying something?
I said I don't care as long as we win. Let it be boring. We win. We need to win this one.
Yep, let the tactics work. Again, even no matter how boring it is. Pulisic literally is the only player that looks capable of scoring. Again, I've read that. Kachila, they are about to look crazy. They need to be in a 4-3-3. Here's the thing, my argument. We talked about this during, again, the build-up show or the predicted lineup show. If we go with the same structure as them, this is the structure they've played constantly. So they probably are master at, again, you could say, playing with that structure. Then also, if we try something different, you see again some measure of confusion. It has happened before, so I don't think it makes sense to switch up the structure because we want to get the best out of them. It may end up being the biggest mistake he's made since he joined Chelsea. Really, Tottenham versus Leeds match was very interesting. A lot of quite interesting match. Man City lost at home, didn't they? Really, they did. Didn't they? Correct me if I'm wrong. They lost at home.
They did?
Yeah, I think they lost.
Oh,
was
yeah,
it at home or away?
2-1 Brentford.
Yeah, Tony.
Brentford.
Yeah.
Tony scored both of them.
Yeah. So yeah, Arsenal are looking very solid before the break. So yeah, I get it. Yeah, just quickly, let me see again. Big up to you again, Queen of the House, just Viola. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for finding the time to join the show. Hey, everyone in the chat. Hey to you too. Let's see again. Coach Chris, again, don't use more than 2 emojis so it doesn't, again, it's not a human being before you guys start fighting. And let's see, again, again, you guys are looking at what you're seeing. I'm going to come back to the panel. We don't have too much time. I cannot read too many of the comments, but if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. So, Ty, your thoughts on the back 3. Do you think that's the placement, really? The placement of the personnel?
I would really be surprised if it's a back 3 because I generally cannot see Chalobah being central and it being like that with Koulibaly on the left. Koulibaly can play on the as a left centre back, but I'm not sure if, or I'm hoping Potter is going to put that much of a role on Chalobah because Chalobah is still developing in terms of that defensive side. he can make some minimal mistakes, and you know that as a defender, any minimal mistake that you make can lead to a goal, and then no matter how you did before that, it can define how your game was, even if it was better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that it's a back four with Koulibaly and Chalobah centrally, and his two centre backs, and Aspi as a right back, and Hall is playing slightly as that left back. I'm assuming that's what it is, and it's more of a 4-3-1-2 or 4-3-2-1 type of thing, where it's a three-man midfield with Loftus Cheek a bit more centrally, alongside Jorginho and Kovacic. At least that's what I think it is, and perhaps it's or simply could be a 4-3-2-1. Actually, yeah, it could be a 4-3-2-1. Same
It could
structure
be,
in
yeah,
terms
I
of the
think most likely
attack.
a hybrid approach.
Yeah, I think it is. I do think it's a four. I think it's a back four. I think it's Chalobah and Koulibaly centrally, and Aspi is right back, and Hall is more of that left back type thing. But I
Sure.
think it could be what we see. In a on paper it's a four, and then while attacking is a three. It could be that where you see Hall is a bit more advanced, and he's playing more of that supporting, left mid. So I think in a sense it could perhaps be a back four with a back three in attack, and then or probably the opposite of that, and it's a back three in defense and four going forward. It depends on what Potter is doing, but I generally think that it's a back four, or the back line is essentially two centre backs and a right back, and somebody playing as a left back.
Yeah, I think so too. To me, like I said again, but we'll see what happens. The structure of the back three, the placement of the person in the back three makes it look more like it's going to be it's going to be again a hybrid approach. Four when defending, and then three when attacking. So we have more players, and these two guys join or help overload the midfield whenever they can. Ty Gumieres, don't you think it's a good idea that we're playing with two sixes rather than with a single individual in a 4-3-3 approach?
Honestly, yes. And you see, because I know Newcastle so well, it's I'm really surprised with this. I'm hoping that it works. So I can see what Eddie Howe is doing, because I mean, Joe Willock is not necessarily a midfielder like that can actually help you in the defensive side. He's more of an
Mm-hmm.
attacking minded midfielder. So Gumares is not really the most physical, and I mean he's creative, which is something that is key in Gumares. But when it comes on to defending, he can probably bring in a tackle here and there, but he's not really that physical midfielder that can withstand consistent pressing. And when you have a Kovacic that loves to press, and then it can get out of little tackles or probably do a dribble here and there, it becomes difficult. Jorginho is probably one where you could see you can probably match him stride for stride. But I guess in a sense, he's still gonna be necessarily outnumbered based on that structure, because Longstaff is 50-50 in terms of defensive side and offensive side.
Yeah,
Longstaff,
Longstaff and Willock can always
yeah.
make it make it compact.
Exactly. So in that sense, it could quite easily be a case where it becomes a 4-1-2-3, where Gumares is slightly isolated, and Willock and Longstaff is more advanced, and then they're supporting Almiron, Chris Wood, and obviously you have Joe Linton on that left side. I'm actually surprised, because Eddie Howe has really used Joe Linton more of that as that midfielder, because he as a way to minimize the pressure on him to really finish. So and that position probably suited him as well. So in a sense, I am assuming that this could actually cause Gumer some sort of issue, because he's going to be slightly outnumbered in terms of the midfield area and the amount of players, especially with their pressing ability. Loftus Cheek and Kovacic, and Hall as well. He can add pressure, and he can win the ball back, and he can dispossess a player. So in a sense, it's a risky decision from Eddie Howe, but I can see what he's trying to do. He's going with a more offensive method, similar to what Crystal Palace did recently, and even other. You could probably even use other examples as well recently, where
Yeah.
they're playing more attacking minded players in the midfield, and then they try to hurt us. I think in a sense I can see what Eddie Howe is doing, but based on what the midfield is compared to our midfielders in terms of pressing, Gumares will
Mm-hmm.
be isolated slightly. unless he decides to pull out some trickery, and perhaps Willock and Longstaff are going to be helping him and supporting him and giving him some extra coverage as well.
Yeah, again, looking at it the way it is, to me, if Willock and Longstaff, if they got dragged into the central area to support Gomez, then who again? If it is Willock that drops in to support him, then there's be more space for Loftus-Cheek to exploit. If it's on the right hand side and Longstaff drifts in to support him, more space for this guy to exploit. Or be only again a Trippier also, it wouldn't be an easy customer. But let's see how Hall can help in that area. But I get everything you explained. Again, it's a tricky one until the game starts. We'll see how the midfield does. Quickly, Roger, your thoughts. What type of game do you expect, and what do you think the outcome would be? And just quickly, just the other saying, Kachila, how are you feeling? Your kiddo is starting. Yeah, I'm a proud dad, if you want to phrase it that way. She's saying this because of how loud I was that day. Again, how enjoyable Lewis Hall was, and I couldn't contain myself really. But get out, Roger. We have about 2-3 minutes to round off. And again, guys, don't forget we have the watch along show, and believe me, you'd love it if you have time to join us there. Go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, so I think if it is a back three and Koulibaly is in the middle, because I don't think Chalobah will be. I think Chalobah will play in his right centre back, and I think Azpilicueta will play on the left side. He's done that before. So I think that will be an easy
but
transition.
you remember how many times we said he's done that before? He stayed on the right hand side. But
no, I know, but I'm just saying though that's one because I don't know. I think I would prefer Aspie being on the left than Chalobah. To be honest with you, Chalobah is more comfortable and he's much younger and has less experience being on the left. I'm just saying. Do I feel comfortable? No, I'm apprehensive about this game. This is going to be a tough game. They meaning Newcastle are on form, and the fact that we're missing our huge goal scorer Sterling, cough cough. You know, I was really hoping Pulisic will play today. I'm a little bit. Let's see. I do like the lineup for all intents and purposes. I'm dying to see what the formation is. I just hope Mendy doesn't have any faux pas, and I hope he's in good form today because we're going to need him, I believe. And we need to stop giving away free kicks because they have Trippier, who's lethal.
And we can defend set piece, really.
Yeah, you noticed that. So we need to stop giving needless free kicks outside of our box around that area. That needs to stop. It's becoming a pattern as of late. So. But I think it's in all likelihood, hopefully, a draw at the very least.
Yeah, again, the numbers say so. If we win, I'll take it anyway. Again, Kim, so big up to you. Thanks for finding time to join the show. Prepare for another loss. Okay, let's see. #failure. Okay, you have every right. Again, Kim, so prepared to be wrong. Thank you. That's the type of argument I see. Don't fight each other over it. I like that type of argument there. Bobby, quickly over to you. We have just about 2 minutes to call it because I have to prepare for the watch along show. Your thoughts, Bobby, what type of game do you expect?
Do you know what? My simple answer to that is I don't know. I really don't. I personally believe Newcastle can be beaten today. But which Chelsea will we see? If everything can be beaten. Well, I'm not saying it in that context. I'm telling you. No,
I understand. Go ahead, yeah.
Newcastle can be beaten today if we do things correctly. I don't think they're that. I don't think they're all that. People are really big up in them and that. That's fine. They're a good team. But I think we're better, even as weak as we are. And what we have to do is play right. If we don't play right, then we're going to make them shine. And they're going to be all over us like we let Arsenal shine. But if we play right, we will turn them over today.
Also, quickly, Coach, after watching Tony today, I watched the City game today. We need to seriously consider getting him, regardless of the price tag. He is clinical. That's all I have to say. And
it depends. It depends. It depends on what the club wants, really. Ty, how about you? What type of game do you expect? We have about a minute, so I can go get ready for the other game.
Well, because I support both teams, people find that weird, but I don't. I'm hoping for a draw, so I don't feel any way if either of them lose. But I think the game will be intense. I think Newcastle will come with a point to prove. They will want to build on their progression in the Carabao Cup against Crystal Palace, and Chelsea would like to move on from their defeat and elimination from the Carabao Cup. So both teams will have something to prove, and I think some people have defined this as a 6-pointer. So we'll see what happens, but I am hoping for a draw because I cannot go through these emotions things.
Yeah, a draw will be a good result indeed. For me, again, I'm not going to say anything today because I'm confused, really. I've looked at, again, the statistics, looked at a recent form, and I don't want to say what I feel will happen, really. Do I think it's winnable? It's winnable. Let's just wait and see what happens. The only thing that gives me hope is that, again, you cannot script football. Yes, they've been in better form. They scored more goals. They score more goals per game, but you cannot. Again, you can. Man City are doing. You cannot script this game. It says Man City are doing it on purpose. Why, I don't know. But that's, by the way, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. And if you haven't, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much, guys. It's been a brilliant pregame show. Thank you so much. I hope to see you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.